Let's talk about AI. I mean, it is the topic on everyone's mind, especially when it comes to our careers. And, let's be honest, there's a lot of anxiety floating around. But what if the biggest threat from AI isn't actually the technology itself, but how we're reacting to it? Okay, let's dive into that. I mean, this is the big question, right? It's the one that keeps so many of us up at night. It can feel like every single new AI development is just another step towards making our roles, well, redundant. But is that really the right way to be looking at this?
If that question makes you just a little bit nervous, trust me, you are in very good company. Research shows that a whopping 41% of workers are worried that AI could make some or maybe even all of their duties obsolete. That's almost half the workforce feeling this unease.
And here's where it gets kind of paradoxical. This concern is even more pronounced among younger generations. For workers between 26 and 43, that number actually jumps to an incredible 48%. Just think about that for a second. These are the digitally native professionals, the very people who are using these AI tools the most, and they're the ones who worry the most. This tells us it's not some vague fear. It's a very real, very shared anxiety.
But what if we're all focusing on the wrong villain here? The data really suggests that AI itself isn't the true danger. The real barrier, the thing that's going to make or break how AI gets integrated into our work, is something way more human.
And that brings us to this really crucial idea, psychological safety. Amy Edmondson coined this term way back in 1999, and it's basically this shared belief that you won't get punished or humiliated for speaking up, with ideas, questions, concerns, or even mistakes. And in the age of AI, this has become the absolute bedrock of innovation.
So why is this so critical right now? Well, for one, AI hallucinates. It makes stuff up, it makes errors, and its outputs can be seriously biased. Now, if your team doesn't feel safe enough to say, hey, wait a minute, this output is totally wrong, or this recommendation feels off, guess what? Those errors just get amplified. Without that safety, curiosity just dies. It gets replaced by a fear-driven compliance, which only leads to silent resistance instead of genuine collaboration. So here's the big shift we need to make. We have to change our perspective. We need to move away from seeing AI as this job-stealing threat and start seeing it as a really powerful collaborative partner, basically a teammate. And this quote, it just captures that new mindset perfectly. Think of it like this. Excel didn't replace accountants, right? It totally transformed what they could do. It freed them up for much higher-level analysis. AI is poised to do the exact same thing for all of us, but only if we learn how to work with it effectively. And this table just lays it all out crystal clear. Look at these numbers. In every single case, data analysis, drafting emails, designing presentations, the human-AI team-up creates a result that is just better, faster, and way more effective than what either one could do alone. The AI gives you the speed and the first draft. You, the human, provide the nuance, the strategy, and the quality control. It's a win-win. And this is the most important thing to remember. AI might be this powerful engine, but your expertise, that's the fuel and the steering wheel. Your judgment, your ethical compass, your creativity, your understanding of the real-world context, these are the things that AI just can't replicate. Your knowledge is what turns a generic tool into a game-changing strategic asset. Okay, so if psychological safety is the absolute key, how do we actually build it? How do we create an environment where people feel safe enough to experiment, to fail, and to learn with all these new tools? Well, here's a practical, 4-step plan you can use. First, it has to start at the top. Leaders need to model curiosity and, vulnerability by sharing their own AI learning journey, stumbles and all. Second, create spaces where the feedback is about insights, not about performance. Now, what I find really powerful is step 3, treating all errors as data, not defects. This totally reframes mistakes as valuable learning opportunities. And finally, step 4 is all about normalizing imperfection, encouraging everyone to share their raw, kind of ugly AI first drafts before they get all polished up. I love this analogy from Gallup because it just captures the spirit of this journey so well. We're all explorers navigating completely uncharted territory here. And just like those old explorers, success is going to depend on that deep-seated trust that, we're all in it together, looking out for each other. So what it all comes down to is this. Thriving in the age of AI is going to require a fundamental shift in how we approach learning itself. It's about building a whole new set of skills and a completely new mindset for this new era.
We're moving away from just memorizing facts. AI can do that instantly.
Instead, we've got to focus on asking the right questions, on evaluating the answers, and on collaborating with AI as a real thinking partner. The value isn't in what you know anymore. It's in knowing how to analyze, synthesize, and apply it.
And that brings us to the skills that are becoming more valuable than ever. AI can process tons of data, but it can't critically evaluate its own output. It can generate text, but it has no real ethical judgment or creative spark. And it sure as heck can't replace a genuine human connection. But maybe the most important skill is that last one, metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. That's what's so crucial for guiding and correcting AI.
So the path forward isn't about being scared of some robot takeover. It's about building a culture of trust and relearning how to partner with technology. And that whole journey, it doesn't start with some grand strategy. It starts with small, safe steps. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What's one small, low-stakes experiment you're going to try with AI this week to start building your own path forward?